It's one of my favorite things about being here. So at no point am I going to tell her to buzz off. I'm Lucy and today I'm going to talk about safety in Taiwan, especially stranger danger. I feel like teaching stranger danger is really, really difficult in Taiwan. At home, we would always teach that if a stranger approaches you, you shouldn't interact with them. Or if somebody stops their car, you shouldn't go near the window. If somebody tries to offer you candy, sweets, then run for your life. So I always thought when I have children, of course I will teach them these simple safety techniques that you don't interact with strangers, because that's what keeps you safe. But living in Taiwan, I'm not following the rules that I always thought I would set. In fact, I don't follow them myself. I tell my children, don't talk to strangers. And then we go out somewhere and Taiwanese people are so friendly. They really are so very friendly. They always come over and start a conversation. If you're waiting for a bus, they'll come over and say hello or ask your child how old they are. They'll interact with you, ask you if you're liking your life in Taiwan, and they're just really, really friendly. And how can I teach my son stranger danger, don't talk to strangers, when I'm answering? Am I going to say to this little old lady, I don't know you, don't talk to me? No, of course not. That's one of the things I love about Taiwan, is that I can stay here and feel safe and feel welcome, and that I can go to the bus stop and a nice old lady will talk to me. It's one of my favorite things about being here. So at no point am I going to tell her to buzz off. But then how can I tell my son not to talk to strangers when I just did the same thing? In fact, I think I encourage him, because if they ask him what his name is and he doesn't answer, I'll be like, well, tell the nice lady your name. And if he still doesn't answer, I'll be like, well, don't be rude. Somebody's talking to you. You should answer. What do you do in this situation? Do you just answer politely? Do you teach them that it's okay when mummy's there or daddy's there, but not when you're on your own? I would be really interested to know what you guys are thinking. If Taiwanese people, when you're out and about, the strangers interact with you, how do you teach your children? And foreigners, what do you do? That we would teach these things in our own countries but not here? Or is it just the education, the upbringing? I think the same goes with food. It's a real Taiwanese culture thing that people are very generous with food. They love to share food. And I can be walking through the market and the lady will see me, usually ladies will see me, and then they'll take an apple out of their bag and be like, oh, for your children. It's just a way of making people feel welcome and like sharing what they have and just being really, really generous. And then my son's looking at me like, you just took that apple. Do you know her? No, she just gave me an apple and I just and I took the apple. How do I explain to him that he can't take food from strangers, but I can, and then feed it to him? I really feel much, much safer in Taiwan than I do in other countries. My husband and I, we traveled the world for a year. We really encountered some slightly unsafe situations. These situations really happen to us, and yet when we come to Taiwan, I never feel nervous of this. Chinese New Year, and we went down to Kaohsiung. Me, my husband, my 2 children, and we were playing in the park and we're just getting ready to get in the car. And this man approached us. And without being rude, if I was in any other country and this big, strong looking workman came over to me and tried to make conversation, I would probably just shake my head and walk away. But he came over, he waved to my sons waved back, and he started a conversation. Within about a second, he handed my son a bag of cut fruit. And I was like, oh, no, of course no, that's your breakfast, please keep your fruit. And he's like, no, of course, for your children, like fruit for your children. And we're in the middle of Kaohsiung City, and this stranger, this big workman.
如果你也想成为下一位爆红创作者，请打开下方资讯栏连结，一起来投稿吧。
Comes over, gives my son a bag of fruit. And I'm looking at my husband and I'm like, the kids really want to eat this bag of fruit. And it's a perfectly reasonable bag of fruit. In my head, I'm thinking that Snow White probably thought that that was a perfectly delicious apple too. But anyway, he wouldn't take the fruit back. We got in the car. His fruit was our mid-morning snack. I'm not usually the luckiest person in the world, but I do encounter really, really good people in Taiwan. I think I've always been really lucky with the people that I've encountered here and the experiences that I've had in my 10 years here. And I was just wondering, other foreigners, are you feeling the same? Do you have these experiences where strangers are coming up and making polite conversation, or that people are just giving you food in the street? Anyway, I absolutely love Taiwan. I really, really feel like the people are extremely friendly and extremely giving, but I'm curious if other people are having these experiences and if other people are encouraging their children to talk to strangers. I know other parents, they see a foreigner, they're like, why Goran, go, talk to her, say something in English. And they're always kind of trying to push their children to talk to me. Whether I'm in the stationery store or the restaurant, people are like, oh, ask her if she can, ask her where she's from, or go say hello, or like practice your English. And so I feel like they're not teaching their children stranger danger, right? They're like, go talk to that stranger in the shop. She's a foreigner, she's safe. Not always the case, I guess. Let me know in the comments below what your experiences are and share with me what you would do, because honestly, I didn't know that I was gonna come across these situations until they happened. I think in England, when you think of a stranger giving candy, you think something bad's gonna happen. Or if somebody approaches you and starts a super random conversation, like it's a big red flag. I never thought that I was gonna have children in another country. I never knew that there were gonna be different rules, or that I was going to have to face different situations in different way. I just assumed I would teach everything the way that I myself was taught. And now, here I am, taking candy from strangers. Feel free to subscribe or like or comment, share some of your experiences. Bye!